Hello, I'm your host, Mr. Twilight Bark, here with a Hound of Norfolk mystery theory video. I've made a rather important hypothesis that in one of my previous videos I thought this character from My Little Pony, Sunburst, was a bargaining chip for Sunset Shimmer to use Starlight as a spy, but I now theorize that Sunburst may be a pawn in Sunset Shimmer's game. Just think about it. When Chrysalis was kidnapping Twilight, her friends, Celestia, Luna, Shiny Armor, and Cadence, they didn't get him for some reason. I think maybe he's Sunset Shimmer's brother, and the two are secretly working together. And I think that's why Sunset Shimmer left the second journal. It was so she could communicate through him, so that they could work together, so that Sunset Shimmer could get the crown and become powerful. And I think they secretly created an alternate timeline, kind of like David Xanatos did in Gargoyles. They created a timeline. Here, let me. Now imagine this line represents time. Equestria's timeline that I've drawn up. Sorry, I couldn't talk for a second. Here's the past. Here's where Celestia and Luna became the rulers of Equestria. Here's where Luna became Nightmare Moon and banished. Here's where Sunset Shimmer became Celestia's student. Here's where Sunset Shimmer left. Here's where Twilight became Celestia's student. Here's where she came to Ponyville. Here's where she became an Alicorn princess. Here's the present, and way over here is the future. Now, what my theory is, that somehow the timeline skewed into this alternate tangent, created an alternate timeline. Alternate to Sunset Shimmer and Sunburst, but reality for Twilight, her friends, and everyone else. Somehow, I think Sunburst and Sunset Shimmer were working together to try to help Sunset Shimmer get the crown. And my guess is that maybe Sunset Shimmer, and this goes with one of my previous, as I stated in one of my previous videos, I theorized that this Sunset Shimmer cloned herself, and left and had a clone go to the human world and stay there while she hid in Equestria while the other clone hid in the human world. Or unless Sunset Shimmer went to the human world and remained in contact with Sunburst. Now I think that, yeah, and again, I think he was the one Sunset Shimmer was communicating with. And the reason why they're doing this is plain and simple. Revenge! My guess is that Sunset Shimmer and Sunburst found a way to time travel, and Sunset Shimmer got information from the future and got her hands on Twilight and her friend's friendship journal, went back in time and gave the book to herself somewhere in the past, and gave herself detailed instructions to keep in contact with her brother Sunburst, so that way the two can stay in contact. And during the first Equestria Girls movie, Sunset Shimmer went and cloned herself and had the clone stay in the human world while she went back to Equestria to plot her next revenge scheme. And again, I don't know which Sunset Shimmer is the clone and which one's the real deal. And again, it could be the one in the human world or the one in Equestria. But I do know that when I watched the Proud Family movie and watched Star Wars The Clone Wars and the movie The Island, I knew that clones aren't exact copies. Like the Proud Family, the clones weren't exact copies of the Prouds, but so does their personalities were different. Same with the clones during Star Wars The Clone Wars. And the clones in the movie The Island. Like Ian McGregor's character, Lincoln Six Echo, he didn't have a Scottish accent until the end of the movie, but Tom Lincoln did. That's one difference. Their voices, not to mention their accents, not to mention their personalities were different. So which means Sunset Shimmer and the real Sunset Shimmer and her clone have to be complete opposite of one another. And I think Sunburst was involved in all of this. Think about it. He was the only one who had the Pillar's journal. He must have told his sister in the past, went back in time, and told his sister about the spell, the Pillars in the past, and that's why Sunset Shimmer went to the human world to try to flush out the sirens. That's why she cloned herself. So that way they could lure the sirens to Camelot High and bring them to Equestria to exact another revenge scheme. Again, these are my opinions. I have no idea what's going to happen, so please like, and subscribe to my channel. This is your host, Vesatola Box, signing off.